So it turns out that nothing came of Ashido going after Gigantomachia for the end of the previous chapter. I mean, it was a cool sequence and everything, and we all had our speculations, but no, nothing happens. She literally and figuratively drops the ball here because she has, I guess, a PTSD trigger from the memory of her running into Gigantomachia, and what we were talking about in the previous review back in Season 4 during Kirishima's flashback. That's odd, right? Because she's already fighting against a super powerful giant monster, so why would the memory of even smaller being from her childhood affect her mid-fight here when she has something way scarier in front of her? I mean, I get it, PTSD is serious and it can affect anyone, and look, I'm not belittling it, but I just think this is a little clunky from Horikoshi here, honestly. I mean, if he wanted to have another reason for her to, mess up here, I just think that he could have did it better. I mean, I'm not saying I could do better, of course, I'm just an idiot. I'm just putting it out there that, I don't know, this sequence is a little odd. Anyway, so Kirishima comes in, saving the day, getting his big moment, and he was just kind of there in the previous chapters. There was not much spotlight on him, so this is a surprise to me. And I also like that, he's getting his own retribution here in exchange for Ashido's, who's kind of being held back at this point. And that also kind of gives me more hope that the series is going to continue at this point, not end on this arc. Because I guess Ashido still needs to have her big redemption because this is kind of setting her up for it. Unless she's going to get it in the next couple chapters because this whole sequence in battle with Gigantomachia isn't over after all. So maybe she comes back and does something epic. I don't know. But Kirishima, our boy, going full unbreakable, getting some hype from Tetsu here saying he's faster than me. So that's kind of scaling the speed between those two, which is fine because the power dynamic, the overall strength between them is up in the air at this point because obviously Tetsu had way better of a performance in the joint training arc than Kirishima did. So he starts climbing up Gigantomachia, and this is actually an impressive feat of power here because he's piercing his skin with his claws. So yeah, I mean, we knew unbreakable almost literally means unbreakable to a degree, I suppose. And I mean, it's powerful enough and sharp enough to break Gigantomachia's skin. So impressive feat, like I said. But then Kirishima gets the slam dunk in Gigantomachia's mouth. I'm loving this moment. I'm liking that it's him rather than Ashido, honestly. No hate against her. Like I said, she'll probably get her time. And he's also saved by Tokage here because while he's in midair and he slam dunks it in his mouth, he winds up on his shoulder, and then she can fly around with her ability, and she picked him up and saved him from literally getting smashed by him. I think it's fair to say that not even unbreakable Kirishima could survive getting smacked full force by Gigantomachia of all people. But now we're coming to another little problematic portion of this chapter, just in my opinion, of course, and that is the paneling issues that Horikoshi has here. Now, this is just the way I see it, and I'm pretty sure we also talked about this in the previous chapter, but I was actually praising him because I'm pretty sure I was saying he was improving his paneling, which he was, and I'm not saying he's regressing or anything, but I don't know, let's go over, because we're seeing just out of nowhere the heroes, mainly from Class 1A, they have these mortar launcher things with wheels on them, and where did they come from? I mean, I guess they had to have come from Yaoyorozu, right? Now, this is extremely taxing for her to make these huge things, because remember, it exhausted her just to make one cannon. Now, of course, she has improved, but not that much time has passed for her to ascend to this level. Now, I'm not saying there's, plot holes or whatever. It's fine. Horikoshi can do whatever he wants. But I just would have liked a little panel or just some kind of thing that showed Yaoyorozu making this. And again, I always advocate in my reviews of all of the series that I do that I don't need to be spoon-fed, and I don't think the audience needs to be spoon-fed every little bit of exposition, but paneling is critical. But anyway, we're going to another issue here with the paneling. Just my opinion, guys. You don't have to hate me for it. And that's the whole Gigantomachia mouth jaw guard thing happening. So what's happening here? I don't know. I wish we knew a little bit more. I mean, I'm sure it'll be revealed in the next two chapters because I don't think we're going to continue the sequence in the next one. But, I mean, I could speculate here, so it could be a few things. So in the one panel next to it, we see the heroes, the outside of the top 10 coming after him. And the one guy in the front is, I guess we've kind of seen him here and there throughout this arc. And I don't know if we've ever got a name drop on him, but I'm pretty sure this guy is Majestic. You know, like the hero agency that Yaoyorozu and maybe Tokage also works under him. But he was also name dropped by Midnight back in chapter 278, like right before she goes down for the count where she either dies or she doesn't. She's like a quirk that can stop that thing. Maybe Majestic. No, that thing's too big. So maybe this was, you know, Horikoshi setting up that Majestic is going to come in to do something significant against Gigantomachia, and I'm pretty sure we don't know what his quirk is since we barely even know this guy exists, but it's possible that he has some kind of telekinetic quirk or something like that, and he's pulling Gigantomachia's, like, chin plate jaw thing off. Now, of course, the other possibility is Gigantomachia is manually doing this. I mean, because you look at the slits on the side of it, it looks like maybe it was meant to be pulled apart or something, and he's doing this because he's going into a different mode, because obviously the sedative has gone into his mouth, and this could be a response to this. So maybe it sends him into some kind of automated mode where he doesn't need to be conscious, and he's just going to move you know, like a robot or something going to his destination, because obviously he was remotivated to do that in this chapter, you know, after he pulled off Mount Lady and everything. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I just wish the paneling was a little better. No hate, guys, just a little criticism. I love Horikoshi. I think he's one of the best in the game easily. But anyway, we're coming to the end of the chapter, and this is amazing. More speculation as to what's going on here. So in case anyone was wondering, like, okay, how do we get to this point? Because, you know, we haven't seen the whole Plus Ultra Shigaraki final battle happening in a while. Back in chapter 277, that was the last time we touched on this. Pretty much at the end of their scuffle, Aizawa still was, you know, canceling out All for One on Shigaraki. And then we got that massive Bakugo full power gauntlet blast on Shigaraki, and then we after he got hit by that, Endeavor came down with like this massive like flame punch thing. Awesome sequence. And it turns out that this really hurt Shigaraki. I mean, it's understandable because, you know, his quirk is being nerfed at this point, and he's just riding off his inherent durability. So what's happening with Shigaraki? Well, we already saw him, like, cracking, you know, like when he was, like, trying to fight off All for One's influence over him, because, you know, there's kind of some kind of, like, Sith mind control stuff going on here that hasn't exactly been explained fully yet. But he's either, I don't know, transforming or something, or he's done. And this could be the end of him, possibly. That would be a little anticlimactic at the same time. But I would be happy if Endeavor and this team got the win. Don't get me wrong. I love this team. I've gushed over them in these chapters. I think the way that Horikoshi set up this whole final battle is masterful, for sure. But I assume this isn't the end for him. And maybe he's going to go into a new form or something. You know, maybe he's going to look more Nomu-like, possibly. Or All for One has some kind of ascension to it, possibly. We'll see what happens, but let me know what you think is going to happen in the comments. If you like the review, guys, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon, and now I have a Twitch too. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do that. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.